It's no secret that employers are having a difficult time hiring qualified personnel, whether full or part-time. The Miller Media Group wants to help you, the employer, to find the candidates you're looking for. That's why we've created IllinoisJobPost.com. That's IllinoisJobPost.com. This website is part of a broad radio and internet employment campaign available through the Miller Media Group. Contact your account manager or email sales@randyradio.com for more information. IllinoisJobPost.com is where we put the power of radio and the internet to attract prospective candidates.
For more than a century, AM radio has evolved to meet the needs of our community. More than 80 million listeners depend on AM radio each month. AM radio is also the backbone of the emergency alert system, which keeps us safe in dangerous times. It's reliable, free, and public safety depends on it. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress we need AM radio in cars.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. And again, my guest on the phone is Mr. Adam Clapp. He's the superintendent of Monticello Schools. We'll give this a try again. Mr. Clapp, are you with us today?
I'm with you, Seth. How are you?
Hey, doing well. Thanks for taking some time out with us for this morning. And, okay, Mr. Clapp, when is your kid's last day of school here this week? When do kids get out?
Yeah, we get out on Friday, May 24th. So got 1 week left. Everybody's excited. Just graduated yesterday. 100 seniors. So, we're on the downhill slope.
You're letting them out on Friday, Mr. Clapp. You are just really making these kids stay way longer than necessary. I mean, there's schools getting out tomorrow. There's schools getting out Wednesday. My kids get out Thursday. I can't believe you're making these kids go an extra day, Mr. Clapp. What in the world?
I know it. We did have one snow day we had to make up. So if we didn't have to make up the snow day, we'd be out on Thursday. But, we got to push all the way to the end, get those finals taken at the high school, and send the kids on their way on Friday afternoon.
Sure. Well, your kids do anything special for end of year? You got elementary kids going in anywhere or doing anything? How about that?
Yeah, we jam. I feel like we jam a year's worth of activities into 1 month here at the end of the year. We've had all kinds of field trips across Central Illinois with our elementary students. I know White Heath last week did lunch on the lawn, which was new. We invited parents in to have lunch with their students, and Mrs. Woodham grilled out for the kids, and they had lunch with their parents on the lawn and their classmates, and just a lot of cool things. K through 5, and then 6 through 8. Our 8th graders, they'll be done on Wednesday. We'll do a little ceremony during the day, just kind of a 8th grade celebration day. They get to go to a movie and come back and do a cookout, kind of their last day at MMS. And like I said, we just sent our 100 seniors off on Sunday, yesterday, about 2 o'clock. So just a lot of events there, and it's just been a really great time.
Good deal. Well, end of the year is here, and I can't believe it, Mr. Clapp. I mean, it's like it was, just a week and a half ago, you and I were talking about the start of school and, the football kicking off and all of the fall activities and getting to use that turf for the first time. And here we are, a year of it all under our belts and soon off to the next. It's wild how it flew by.
Oh, it flies by every year, and I think every year gets a little faster, and before you know it, you and I will be talking in August about the start of school again. So,
yep.
But yeah, it's really cool. But we're really happy with the way this year's played out, and we'll finish strong this week. And like I said, sending off those seniors on a high note has been awesome.
Sure. Mr. Clapp, let's start with talking about something that you have kind of implemented with your staff at the early elementary, the elementary problem-solving team. What is this? What's this all about?
Yeah, so you and I talked about the middle school research group that Mr. Hughes put together about middle of the year, and I just saw how successful it was to put a group of educators together and kind of put their heads together and take a look at our middle school schedule. So using that kind of idea here at Washington School, we assembled a team with representatives from our pre-K program, our kindergarten classrooms, and our first grade classrooms, a couple representatives from each grade level, as well as the administrative team and myself. just start diving into some of the challenges that we see with our early elementary students, and then recognizing what challenges are coming up, and then looking at how we can best address those challenges in terms of professional development and training for our staff, parent and community engagement. How can we get more parents in our buildings? How can we partner with communities in creative ways? And then just taking a look at our staffing and just looking at the early elementary students and our teachers as a way to positively impact the foundation of our education for K through 12. And we've talked about it often, where our elementary schools set the foundation for where our middle school and high school kids can go. So we want to really focus in on how to best support our students and staff at early elementary grade levels.
We'll dive into that a little further there, Mr. Clapp, with us. What all is this going to entail? What direction will this take? How about some of those things?
Yeah, so we've met weekly in the month of May. Just jamming another thing into the month of May, but it's been awesome getting to hear feedback from our teachers and administrators on what's working well for us, what's not. Some of the things that we're implementing to begin the year. Professional development wise, we're looking at we're bringing in Brian Mindler, who is a classroom management guru, nationally known speaker. He'll be here on August 15th. To do a keynote and a workshop for our teaching staff. That's K through 12, because his ideas apply K through 12. We sent a small group of teachers to go to his workshop in Champaign earlier this spring, and that was super positive from them going to the meeting and coming back and sharing with administration and their colleagues. So we're able to secure him to start the year, and then we're looking at also ways to engage our families in more meaningful ways. We do the common things of, meet the teacher night, supply pickup, or supply drop off at elementary grade levels. We do parent teacher conferences. Those are the common things that all schools do. We're looking at, how can we also engage parents in the community in ways that can support our learning. So those are conversations that we are starting here. And we feel that the group has been very positive and been well received, and we hope to continue this group at the beginning of next year to where we can, make a consistent impact at those early grade levels.
Sure.
And I think one of the things also to add to that is it's going to be a work in progress, but I think this group allows a platform for us to dive into data and look at, some of the things that we've done for years, and is it effective, or is it something we need to adjust? And it gives us this opportunity to brainstorm with educators, and some of our best problem solvers are those teachers and administrators that are in the building doing the work. So very, very positive so far, and looking forward to this week's meeting, and also kind of catapulting into the summer and into next school year.
Yeah, it sounds like it gives kind of the teachers a voice in, the planning stages of this, if that makes sense.
It does, and I think that's a valuable piece. It's to get teachers at the table, because they're the ones that are, going through and seeing challenges, and, they want to be a part of the problem-solving process, so this is an avenue for that.
Very good. Mr. Adam Clapp, Superintendent of Monticello Schools, our guest on the phone today. Mr. Clapp, anything else about that initiative before we move along today?
Oh, no, I just think, I just shout out to these teachers that are volunteering their time out after school, for the last 3 weeks. And then obviously this Wednesday will be our last meeting for the school year. But, it's just another thing added to the plate, but they've been awesome. And the feedback's been well received, and we're getting a game plan together of how we can best address our needs here.
Mr. Clapp, let's dive into a potential change in just the structure of the school calendar. Maybe not the calendar, but like the semester model there in the K-5 system, more or less, not anything else. How about that?
Yeah. So I mentioned it last month. We had long discussions of going to trimesters at our K through 5 buildings and what that would entail. Right now we're on semesters, 2 quarters in the first semester, 2 quarters in the second semester, and you would get your quarterly report card, and that's consistent K through 12. But what we're seeing at our elementary buildings is that quarterly assessment is not allowing us the time needed to progress towards mastery before we assess those skills again. So it's not a new model. There are other school districts, off the top of my head, I can't think of those, but we did a kind of a discussion as an admin team and as Whiteheath and Washington building leadership teams, and it makes sense to align our assessment periods with our fast bridge testing, which is our benchmarking that all students go through, and then we can set goals from there, and then the trimester allows us that time to progress towards mastery before we're assessing again. Assessment's such a huge thing, and sometimes it's cumbersome and can impede the progress towards mastery of skills. So we're really looking at focusing in on the learning process and that mastery process. So, instead of having the 4 quarters, we'll have 3 trimesters at K through 5. So, you wouldn't expect a quarterly report card in K through 5 anymore. It'll be you'll get it 3 times a year instead of 4. So not a big adjustment on the parent side of things, except you're going to be looking for a report card 3 times a year instead of 4, and really getting a dive into the mastery process rather than just constant assessment.
Yeah, maybe I'm a little slow on the understanding why, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do this. I'm just kind of curious, why does it matter matching up where your assessments fall and that quarterly model? How about that?
Well, it's just so for us, when we do our benchmarking with fast bridge testing, we already assess students 3 times a year, and it just, if we are assessing classroom grades at a different rate that we're assessing our benchmarking, our data doesn't mean as much to us. So we're trying to align that data piece to match our classroom progress towards mastery. So kind of streamlining that process to help with our efficiency and effectiveness in the classroom.
Gotcha. Very good. Will this be something easy to implement in terms of, aligning your school calendar and all of those things? Like, will this be a difficult implementation process?
No, it won't be a difficult implementation process. I think the biggest thing is just communication. So we've sent out our communication last week about K through 5 moving to trimesters, and basically it just changes the date at which you would receive feedback from the classroom teacher on a grading period. It'll be a little bit different than at the high school. So high school first quarter ends mid-October, and then that's middle school and high school. Their first grading period will end mid-October, and then K through 5, the first grading period will end early November. So you're gaining 3 or 4 weeks of instruction towards that mastery before you're getting assessed again. So we think it's going to be big for us to create that streamlined data process. So there's really not a lot of adjusting to do other than recognizing the different data on the calendar. Sure.
Very good. Mr. Clapp, let's take a break here. Come back with some more. That's Mr. Adam Clapp, Superintendent of Monticello Schools. My guest on the phone. More to come with him on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Chip Flory here, the host of AgriTalk, the nation's longest-running agriculture talk show. I'm here to remind our listeners on Central Illinois' agriculture station, WHOW, that you can hear our show weekday mornings from 10 to 11 on WHOW's many platforms. On the Big 1520 across Central Illinois, 92.3 FM in DeWitt County, and now on 106.5 FM in Logan County, and on the WHOW app. AgriTalk on WHOW.
Enel North America is dedicated to creating long-term shared value for our host communities. Enel is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the WHOW WEZC McLean County Community Spotlight, featuring the important work of a different McLean County nonprofit organization each month.
Hi, I'm Deborah Cole, Director of Development for the Salvation Army in McLean County. We provide many services like Safe Harbor Shelter, a low-barrier adult shelter housing 50, and $123,000 in rent and utility assistance to families with emergencies. Our self-choice food pantry served over 9,000 people last year. Find out more online at sabloomington.org.
Enel is a clean energy leader in North America and is working to electrify the economy and help build a net zero carbon future for Illinois. They're proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the WHOW WEZC McLean County Community Spotlight.
Find out how you and your family can save up to 40% on the meat, produce, and grocery items you use every day by clicking the Clinton Save-A-Lot icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Peterson Insurance Services in Clinton is a 2014 Pekin Insurance Illinois Agency of the Year. Jay Peterson here from Peterson Insurance. Find out about Pekin's auto, home, or life insurance by clicking on our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, my guest on the phone today, Mr. Adam Clapp, is the superintendent of Monticello Schools. And Mr. Clapp, again, folks drive by your facility. They just continue to see work being done. It feels like the dirt has not stopped moving since almost COVID, when you took on that multi-million-dollar renovation, and now you've got turf on all your significant sports surfaces and all of that, and more here still going on. What's the latest with the Wilkie complex?
Yeah, so obviously if you've driven by Kratz Road or 105, you can see that the walls are going up. Masonry's still underway. We're hoping that structural masonry's finished here this week, and then from there the steel will be put on the roof, and you're going to see a lot of progress as far as roofing and bricklaying goes. But yeah, I mean, they've been fighting the rain a little bit, but when they are able to be out there, they move very quickly. So substantial completion date is still August 1st. Met with the construction team on last Thursday, and they still confirmed that that's the date that they're shooting for, and confident they're going to make it.
Very good. Mr. Clapp, remind us, what is that facility gonna house? What's going on there?
Yeah, so we'll have a state-of-the-art weight room. We'll have concession stand for the Wilkie complex and new restrooms. And the restrooms will be, a major upgrade from. Right now, we only have 2 restrooms available at the complex. This will have 8 per side. 8 restrooms per side. So that'll be great upgrade for us.
I just thought of this, Mr. Clapp, and I don't know what the plan was, but did you ever consider back in the planning stages, not to say now, but back in the planning stages, how you go to Rantoul, normal West has this kind of setup where it's all the diamonds kind of center around one facility, where it's restrooms and press boxes and concessions, and it's kind of like a big old circle that's centered around one building right in the middle of it all. Was that ever a consideration at that complex?
We had some very, very brief discussions about what that may look like, what that may have looked like at the Wilkie complex, but it would have taken, it would have to change the layout for all 3 facilities, and that undertaking was going to be too great. So, but yeah, that was one of the initial things, is how could we rearrange our fields, and it just didn't make sense as big of a task that it appeared to be.
Yeah, for sure. You probably would have had to surrender a whole year of home ball games just to make all of that work. That totally makes sense. Yep, for sure. Interesting. Will that be now remind us, will that be the concession and the restrooms for the spring sports, like the soccer, the baseball, softball? Will it be those things for football? How about that?
So it'll be for anything that's occurring, I guess, south of Kratz Road. Softball and baseball work a little bit differently because they do like a small concession. We've never had soccer concessions, so this will be new for soccer. And then track meets. Track meets, we usually sell food out of the track shed. So this will be a designated location.
Okay.
Instead of kind of sharing the space with track and soccer storage, it'll have a designated location there. So I think for big events, I know we've talked about potentially, we've done some tailgating for baseball, softball. I think our concession stand would be a great resource for things like that. But the typical baseball game or typical softball game, they'll likely continue using a small concession behind home plate.
Well, you're going to have to just upgrade that next, Mr. Clapp. That's what you're going to have to do. Hey, remind us this summer, what's to come this summer out there at the complex, along with that building that's going up. What else is happening?
Yeah. So we've been talking long time about parking around the complex. So anywhere there's a gravel parking lot south of the high school and kind of next to the football field, we're doing a parking lot paving project, so that'll be all concrete. That begins on May 28th. We've pushed out information to our coaching staffs, and we do camp invention here. So all the community that typically uses our facilities over the summer will be communicated with, because there'll be parts of the parking lot that will be unavailable because it's getting concrete, and there'll be work in machinery in those areas. So it'll be a busy campus. The difference is it won't be students that are keeping the campus busy. It'll be finishing up these construction projects.
Easy enough. Mr. Clapp, where do folks go to keep up with it all and get the latest in Monticello activities?
Yeah, if you check out our Twitter pages and www.sages.us, you can catch up on anything Sages.
Mr. Clapp, always good to have you, sir. We'll talk again soon. Enjoy your summer.
All right, you too.
That is Mr. Adam Clapp, Superintendent of Monticello Schools. Network News on the way.
WHOW.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. A caretaker president has been named in Iran following a helicopter crash that killed the